Good morning. If you're just tuning in and you just saw me on Facebook go live while I was driving on my way to the day job, I apologize for that. My phone, when I'm driving, is set to voice recognize and voice controls. So, yeah, that was an accident. This is the morning gab right now. Hang on. Let's do that. So we're gonna talk about stomping out vices. So what we all have these little tics, these little coping mechanisms, basically, are what vices are. Then they become a habit. They become a coping mechanism, and then they become a habit. So whatever the reason why, it's only you would know. Sometimes, if someone's around you long enough, they'll know the why and the when these habits occur. Now, I commend the people that try to quit their habits. I commend the people that try, and, just because you fall back into it, into your habit, doesn't mean you're a failure, and it doesn't mean you're a quitter. It means that you just pick up and try again, really. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, okay, I know my fingernails are really bad, but I work. So I used to not be able to grow my fingernails because I always kept on biting them. I bit them, and I would just chew on them until there's nothing, just nothing, till my nail was flush to my fingers. It was pretty bad. Because I am a nervous person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am a really nervous person. I worry about everyone and everything. I worry about things before there's a worry. I worry about getting more worries. It's an endless cycle. But I've learned to deal with it. I've learned to handle it. It's okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My husband has a habit. He picks at his arm or something. He'll pick at his hands or his fingers because he'll constantly be doing something like this. And I end up just rubbing my thumb for some reason. Ever since I had my car accident and I dislocated, mainly this thumb was pretty bad. This thumb I don't really mess with. As you can tell, yeah. I know we all would love to have pretty hands and pretty nails, and heck, a lot of people's coping mechanism and habit are things like smoking cigarettes, and there's vaping now, gum chewing, let's see, drinking. Some people have actually gotten to the point where they've taken out drinking alcohol and they've weaned themselves off of it to the point where they just drink one regular soda, which has caffeine in it. A lot of people need that extra, I guess, oomph to get through the day. My cycle was, now it was a very long, drawn out process. I went from smoking cigarettes to to drinking coffee habitually, to drinking a regular soda, which is the caffeine. Nicotine and caffeine are almost the same. But to get the equivalency of nicotine, you would have to drink a whole lot of caffeine. So a lot of folks will switch to energy drinks. So I went from cigarettes to coffee and energy drinks to just coffee or just energy drinks. I didn't let myself slip because I was afraid if I gave myself an inch, I'd go a mile. I have asthma, so I knew that if I didn't quit, I would end up in the hospital. Because if you have asthma and you smoke cigarettes, you're adding to a pre-existing condition, and it can easily turn into emphysema. I had an aunt who did that. She was a chain smoker. She always had a cigarette in her hand. And she always told me, she said, baby girl, if you don't stop, if you don't stop smoking, you're going to end up like me. And she had a whole lot of problems. Yeah. And she's no longer with us. So, I mean, you gotta want to change and you gotta want to stop. You gotta find out what's causing you to need that vice. and that's the only way you can address it. There's only two ways to get rid of a vice or a habit. Either you really want to stop it and get rid of it, or you find out what's the root cause of the vice and why you feel like you need it, or why do you keep going to it. If it's because you are hyper and you just need something to do with your hands and your mouth, people with anxiety are more prone to smoking because they need something to do. People that are hyper and have anxiety are more prone to smoke because they need something to do with their hands. Thus why I think they created the fidget spinner. I don't think it really was a kid thing, but it became a kid thing because kids liked it. I don't know. Or the little pocket fidgets, where you have the little toggle and the little buttons and little light switch, little gizmos. But regardless of that, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people do what they do. Like, for instance, there's a lot of reasons people drive like they want to die or want to kill you, which is what occurred for me this morning. Monday morning, people driving like they have no F's to give. I'm trying to censor myself because I want to try to be at least kid-friendly. But, hey. And as for drinking and alcohol, people that are trying to cope, hide, and slow things inside their minds and their emotions down. Alcohol is a form of an escape, and it also quiets things a little more. But there are some instances where it does not quiet anything. It can hurt the whole process of running away. It can make it worse. And that's when people have psychological or emotional breakdowns, or people just keep drinking past that limit and they'll get alcohol poisoning. And I've seen that happen. It's not fun. If you don't go to the hospital after drinking to the point of on the verge of alcohol poisoning, it's at least a couple day worth of recovery. And alcohol, it does what it does because in a technicality, it's too much of it is poison. It's poison. You're just poisoning your body, really. Because your body registers it as water or something to drink, a nutrient, and it's trying to process it with all the sugars and everything. It's going to process it faster and then drunk. A lot of people, when they do these things, they don't really think. And drugs are, it's another habit that people can form. And before people can, get up in arms, habits and addictions are a disease. It is an illness. It is a mental, emotional illness that's turning into a chemical and physical. It's all connected. When one problem occurs, something else compensates or something else breaks down. It's different for each and every person. So, in order to stop and quit and to go on any kind of road of recovery and to stomp out any kind of habit or vice, you have to A, want it, and B, address the situation and stop running away from it. Admit that either A, you have a quirk, or B, you have a sickness. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? You're already hurting yourself. So the logical thing is to face your inner demons. Face them. Address them. But don't live it. Meaning, face your demons and admit, this happened or I have this problem. And look for help. Or talk to somebody. Sometimes just verbally admitting, I have depression, or I have anxiety, or this happened to me in the past, or somebody hurt me in the past, and this is how I'm dealing, and I want to stop. Sometimes just saying it out loud helps. And don't be ashamed to cry. Because if you feel like you need to cry or laugh, do it. Because that's how your mind and your emotions and your body is even coping with it. A lot of people that talk to me about coping, they tell me, they're like, well, when I was a little girl or when I was a little boy, I was molested or raped for so many years and blah, 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 blah. If you're hurting by somebody else's hands or someone else's decision in the past, I'm not saying just get over it. I'm saying address it, talk about it, because you're not alone. Chances are everyone, to some degree, has been hurt. But you're alive, and you have a second chance to recover. And you also can make a difference because you know what it's like. Somebody may just be going through the same thing that you've gone through. And if you don't share your story, which will also help you heal, it could probably help somebody. It could probably even save somebody's life. You don't know. Could. I've told people about what happened to me in middle school, high school, and then out west when I was living out west in Oklahoma. Somebody told me, like, if you didn't share what you went through, I would not have known how to recover. I would not have known that there is a life after what happens to you in that retrospect. And, just sharing it. Yeah, there's people that are nasty and mean. They're going to say all kinds of things, but you know what? They don't pay your bills, okay? Don't respond to people being jerks. Oh, a dragonfly. It's a good omen. ADHD. Oh, look, a dragonfly. But you just gotta be brave. Face what happened. There is a life after any situation. People in Hawaii that survived the volcano eruption, they've lost everything. Everything. Some people have lost everything. Their pets. Some people even probably lost loved ones. I personally don't know. I do personally know people that have escaped it, and they were like, I'm lucky. They're happy to have their life. Those people, I mean, how many people can say they survived a volcanic eruption? They've got away with their life. There is a life after trauma, after anything that could happen. This is life. Anything can happen. A meteor can hit my car and I can survive it somehow by whatever perfect situation, and I survive it. And there's a life after that. But it is what it is. You gotta have the drive and the willpower to live after anything that could happen to you. Some people, I'm sad to say, just don't have the coping strategies and mechanisms that can help them survive and endure. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't develop it. You have to believe in yourself. We as human beings are a lot more stronger than we give ourselves credit for. We have to take responsibility of our choices and actions, and that's the way to recover, to endure, and live. So, that's all I have time for today. I hope this helped. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Hope everyone has a really good day. So, bye.